Alright, YouTube, Shadow King Nazru, and I'm here with my review of Dragon Ball Super, episode 108. We start off with Goku fighting Ribrianne, as we saw in the last episode. And Goku is rather interested in fighting Ribrianne, as he can sense that she has a lot of fighting spirit. But, contrast to what he believes, Ribrianne doesn't believe it's her fighting spirit, but actually her love. You know, the whole love theme and everything. And she continues to try to prove that her love is stronger than his fighting spirit because, through using her love theme techniques like her pretty love cannon or her pretty love machine gun. And everybody in Universe 2 has just enjoyed this, especially Hellas. And Goku is just pretty much dodging the attacks as he's really confused by the whole love theme attacks. Yeah. Then we cut to Gohan fighting the Universe 3 fighter Bola. And he just keeps firing energy attacks at him. Yeah, Bola, you're no Magetta, so could you just go away? I don't care about you. So Gohan manages to trick Bola and escape, though I'm pretty sure he could have overpowered Bola if he went all out, but whatever. And he decides to catch his breath and rendezvous with the others. But he's intercepted by Jamies, the Yard Rat from Universe 2. And he starts... And Jamies gives Gohan a lot of trouble because of his instant transmission and hitting his blind sides, despite Gohan's best efforts to not let his guard down. And this seems to be quite interesting. Unfortunately, this scene is ruined by Frieza interrupting the fight. And Frieza just pretty much just gloats about how intrigued he is about this fight and how Gohan is so pathetic for not being able to deal with the Yard Rat. And everybody in the Universe 7 bench is wondering what's Frieza gonna do. They don't trust him. Roshi and Whis think that Frieza's up to something, and Whis thinks that Roshi and Whis think that Frieza's planning to take out all the fighters, including his own team, so he can be the last fighter remaining and have access to the Super Dragon Balls. And Whis says that with the Super Dragon Balls, he could wish to even kill a god. Which I'm sensing, since they brought that up, that might actually be a plot point. I don't think Frieza's going to be able to do it because, well, we've had a history of Frieza's plans backfiring at him, so this should be pretty much par for the course. But I sense that maybe another villain might try this. As for the killing the gods, I'm not sure if that applies to Zeno, because I feel that Zeno power might surpass the Super Dragon Balls despite their ability to grant literally any wish. I know that was a bit of a contradiction, but still. So it might just be to kill the gods of destructions or the supreme kinds, and then by extension the gods of destruction because they're their life link or whatever. But that would be an interesting thing for the next saga. But anyway, back to the uninteresting part. Frieza pretty much decides that he's going to stand on the sidelines and wait until either Jamies or Gohan comes out the victor, and he'll take the second round. And Jamies continues to manhandle Gohan, but Frieza gets bored and decides to fight against Jamies. Jamies tries to use instant transmission, but it doesn't work on Frieza because, well, Frieza had experience with instant transmission out with all his fights with Goku, especially the one in the Resurrection F. See, something came out of that saga. Regrettably. And I'm sensing Jamise doesn't have Goku's unorthodox tactics to get the one-ups on Frieza, so it's just pretty much ineffective. And Frieza proceeds to torture Jamise, even doing that one thing where he grabs Jamise by the neck with his tail and continuously punch him in the chest, much like he did with Vegeta in the Frieza saga. And then proceeds to blast him out of the ring. This act was so appalling to Universe 2 that even Hellas just finds Frieza disgusting. I share the sentiment, Hellas, mostly because Frieza is my least favorite character in Dragon Ball, possibly in fiction. And Gohan shouts Frieza's name, and Frieza then continues to say that his injuries were all his fault because had Gohan gone all out, he would have been able to easily handle Jamise. And he was about to go off until Frost appears and drops the bombshell that he and Frieza are in an alliance to be the last two remaining fighters and have the time run out so they can get rid of all the Saiyans, have their universe remain, and get a wish from the Super Dragon Balls and reap the benefits. And Gohan starts to feel betrayed, and he tries to gather what somewhat strength he has and fight Frieza. And at first, Frieza easily handles Gohan, while Frost holds his own Death Beam in charge, just in case Frieza double crosses him. But then Gohan decides to go Mystic and gets the upper hand on Frieza in the final form, and even lands a good punch to the face. Nice. However, Frieza goes into his golden form, which impresses Frost. So that pretty much confirms that Frost does not have a golden form. And Frieza, as expected, beats Gohan. So yeah, that pretty much proves that Gohan is not on the level of Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza. And Frost is just so awed by this level of power that he wants to know if he can obtain this power. And Frieza says that sure, you could probably attain this form if you trained, but in the meantime, you should try to aim for the 100% form, which he does. I was not sure that he could still do that, because I thought the 100% form was because he was only able to do that because that was his max power, and he only got that bulky because he was letting out all his ki into his body. But now it's just acting more like the Ultra Super Saiyan form. Whatever. But Frost points out that he can do that too. And Frieza then proceeds to give him a few tips, saying that things like, if you go into this form, you have to fight at your best really quick because you'll burn out your stamina, much like how Golden Frieza did back when he first got it. And then finally tells it the final advice is not to trust anyone, and then fires a Death Beam or Death Cannon, I don't know which, and Frost is knocked out of the ring. You mean Frieza betrayed Frost? I am in total utter shock. Said no one with half a brain cell. I mean, come on, everybody and their grandmother could have predicted that. And Frost feels, well, betrayed by this. I mean, because he thought he could trust someone of his own race. Or at least somewhat to. And he... But Frieza pretty much just points out that he doesn't want to work with an amateur. And this causes Frost to get triggered. Like, so triggered to the point where it equals when Frieza learned that Goku was in fact a Super Saiyan and was pretty much whooping his ass back in the Frieza saga. And Frost was about to fire a death beam at Frieza to kill him, but the Zenos shut that shit down and erase him from existence. So, well, we know that one rule the Zenos will follow. If you're out of the ring and you try to fight, you'll get erased from existence. So, yeah, they've lost all interest if you're out of the ring. Which is a pretty... Which we're going to have to keep our eyes on that because there might be other fights that might try to do that. Maybe someone like from Universe 4. Maybe hopefully Frieza would be stupid enough to try that. Here's hoping. But then Gohan admits that he knew that Frieza, when he was hitting him, wasn't going all out and it was just a ploy, so he just played along with it. And Frieza was glad because otherwise he would have to kill him if he wasn't smart enough to pick up on that. And tells him that they should work together for their common goal. And then they head off. And then we see we have the episode end off with Goku still fighting Brienne. Brienne. Same thing. Would like to see more of that over seeing Frieza stuff. But all in all, this was a pretty good episode. While I don't like Frieza at all, it was nice to see the conspiracy, as it reminds me a lot of like Game of Thrones kind of things. Seeing Frost's interaction with Frieza, seeing some funny moments between Goku and Brienne, along with Hellas, seeing how disgusted she is by Frieza's character, even seeing Champa praising Frieza since he was taking out another one of Beerus' team members. So, and considering that Geekdom considers Champa his surrogate self in the Dragon Ball series, this pretty much became his wet dream episode. But that's my thoughts on the episode. We're going to skip next week because we don't get another episode of Dragon Ball Super. But the week after that, we get the 1 hour special with Goku versus Jiren. Shit is going to get real. I'll catch you guys later.